Another commentary channel. The 1920s pole sitting, like electrical pole height locations, young individuals felt that they needed to rise up. They felt that they needed to be lifted higher. And sitting on a pole made the Great Depression a lot easier, it seems. That's the general consensus. That's why they did it. Because, I mean, that's how terrible the Great Depression was. But the next thing, you're a kid in the 90s. What do? Terrible game. I'm talking, of course, about Pogs! Everybody's favorite worst game. How very lukewarm of the 90s. Now, I think the game of flipping something with a heavier thing is cool, actually. Get real, like, wicked about it, I'm sure. So, listen, that part of it's great, but the decorations and stuff, this just wasn't for me. Okay? This is just my commentary. How could I get away without mentioning very wealthy famous person dresses up as a worm? Recently, very wealthy famous person whose name will be left out has dressed up as a worm, and I gotta say, this was made me feel weird when I saw it. I'm telling you, like, I was just a little, good for her though, right? It's very intricate, and they say she spent 2 years constructing it. That's wonderful. Listen, I'm proud of you, really. It's just, it made me feel weird. So that's why it's in here. That's the kind of stuff that makes it in here. Weird things that I found around the internet, but they're not insane or deranged. They're not criminal acts. They're only kind of interesting. That's what I went for with this. So one of the most kind of interesting things I've ever heard of, phone booth stuffing. In the 1950s, this was all the rage. Nobody knows why, really. I didn't really do too much digging. I don't really think that there's a good impetus or reason behind stuffing your... I don't see the sportsmanship in it, but to each their own. The world record amount of people to be simultaneously stuffed into a phone booth is 25, and this whole thing died by 1959. So it was just the 50s, which can further mark that decade with weird stuff. You guys know that owl attacks are still ticking up a little bit?